I kind of like chuck it, but land it right on top of the snake in like the first throw. It was like that thing that people talk about, like when they get adrenaline to lift the car off their babies.
Yeah.
It was that type of thing, because I have no athletic ability. But somehow I was able to trap the snake like that. And I grabbed one of the weights from my husband's like weight set where you put it on the bars.
Yeah.
I put it on top of it, so it was heavy enough to where it couldn't get out. And so then I go and I just get back on the mower, because my mind is, if it gets out, I'll have the blades going so I can chop it up. And I just
because
kind
if
of
it gets out, it's coming for you.
It's coming.
It is!
It'll be out for blood if it comes for you.
And so my husband comes home, and I'm like, I like jump off the mower, and I'm like, there's a snake in the garage, and I have it caught. You have to kill it. He's like, what kind of snake is it? I'm like, the black snake. He's like, well, no, I mean, those are like the snakes that catch mice. They're like, I'm like, there is no good snake. It has come into my house. This is an act of war. It must die.
I agree with that. Any snake that comes into the house, no matter what it's good for, it's signed a declaration of war at that point.
Yeah, I think he just wanted to like let it go.
Yes.
Like, I'm like, well, let me see if I find the machete, and I can't find the machete. And so I like go up to get,
The machete?
Yeah, and I couldn't find my machete. And so I go and I do grab the hoe. And when I come back down, he has an axe. And he's like trying to shake it because like the thing won't move. Mm-hmm. And I guess it's injured. Whatever.
Oh, great.
But it's like, I have the hoe, and I go to bring the hoe. I'm like, Here, do you want this? He's like, stop. It's in like striking position.
A garter snake?
What the hell?
Oh, God.
I know. I'm like, what? Like, that's why you don't. I'm like, you've got to kill it. And I was like, wait, I have my little machete in the truck, because I have the long one and the little one.
You have many machetes. Okay.
So I went to go get the little one out, and next thing I know, I hear like slam of the bucket, and I'm like, what is going on? And so I get the little machete out, and I'm like, and there's an axe, and he has the head of the snake, part of its body stuck under the bucket, but like part of its body's out and its tail is out, and you can tell it's pissed because it's like, man. And he's like pushing down the bucket. I'm like, you're not going to be able to kill the thing with a bucket. You need to use the axe, chop it. And
he's ruthless.
Right. This is a lot.
Yeah, and he's like, he finally like chops it, and it starts bleeding. And he chops it in half, and he chops it again, and then he chops it like up further up, and like green stuff comes out, which I don't know what that is.
No.
And and so he's like, go get me a bag.
Yeah.
He's like, go get me a bag so we can throw it away. I'm like, okay.
Oh, God.
So I go and get a shovel and a bag, and he picks up on the shovel, and the head moves, and I'm like, it's a zombie snake. That is why it can't die. And he's like, no, it's like muscle reflex. I'm like, no, it's a zombie.
No, it's auto reflex mechanism.
So it got disposed of. I don't know how. I didn't pay attention after that point, because once I realized it was a zombie snake, I just couldn't get it anymore. And I woke up several times last night afraid that the zombie snakes were going to come get me. Like, I slept with Draven, hoping that he would like at least warn me if the zombie snake comes in the room. Like, none of my cats are except for the outdoor cat, Inky, who I'm pretty sure was the one that injured the snake. So, good job, Inky. She got treats. But
and you don't have proof that she injured it, but you're going with that.
Well, because I mean, she would be the only animal around her house that would have injured it.
Well, all right.
And so, because like all the other cats are indoor cats completely, and which is why they're bougie and can't hunt like flies. And my dog's too derpy to do it, so.
Well, there's that.
Inky was the only plausible suspect. And,
Inky's the only killer among them.
Yeah, she's the only killer among us. Among them, like, you know, the rest of them are just like, food comes in a can, right? You know, but Inky, she's been on them streets.
But for any of you listening, Kevin is right. It's called an auto-reflex mechanism. It's when a dead body moves slightly right after it's died.
No, it's a zombie snake.
It's normal. Every carcass does it, almost.
Just imagining, like, Shiela, like, sitting up in the night and suddenly going, like, zombie snake.
Like, I would turn on my, like, I had to cover my vent, because my vent goes to the basement, so I was afraid they'd get in the vents like snakes in the plane. Like, it's... And, like, for me to wake up, you know how scared I was.
Well, there you go. Zombie snake.
Zombie snake.
I'm here for it.
You, I've had an eventful week.
I'm here for it. It's the zombie snake for me. I love it.
just even thinking about it now, it's like, oh, I just can't.
So,